I am a PMP certified project manager now. What a great feeling. And I wish the same to you. If I can do it, you can do it too. On this video, I'm going to share my PMP journey, both the good and the bad experiences, particularly the bad ones, so that you can learn from my experience. I am Karthik Rograman. I go by RK. I work as a project manager for one of the Fortune 500. Set a target date on when you'll actually appear for the exam and work backwards from the target date. What I actually mean is to fill the application and submit it, get it approved from PMI, and set a date with the Prometric Center. In the worst case, you can change the date if you decide to not appear for the exam before 30 days. But setting the date with the Prometric Center is very important if you're really serious about PMP. It is very important to set a target date. I originally wanted to appear for the PMP exam in 2015. All I had was just a goal. I didn't book the date with the Prometric Center. In 2016, I was very serious about it, and I've spent the money and time and submitted the application and got the date with the Prometric Center. And within 3 months, I was able to appear and clear my PMP exam on my first attempt. So I highly encourage you to set a target date and work backwards from the target date. It is also important to have a mindset of passing the exam rather than just appearing for the exam. During your preparation, many times you will feel stressed out. This particular mindset will actually help you to move towards your goal. And also make sure you set a reward for yourself and visualize achieving that reward or enjoying that reward after you clear the exam. That will help you to motivate during your preparation. Regarding the study material, I have used two different sources. One is the PMBOK guide, which is a must. The second is the online video tutorial by Joseph Phillips, which is available in udemy.com. It also comes with the course completion certificate, which you can use to submit your application with PMI. I have used this video material as my primary source to easily understand the concepts. Then I have used the PMBOK guide to enhance my knowledge. Regarding my study plan, I originally planned to study for 200 hours, including the mock exam. But I ended up spending 350 hours, 200 hours on the preparation and 150 hours on the mock and improving my skills based upon the results from the mock exam. So it is only when you give your first mock exam, you will understand where you are and how much more preparation is needed. So plan accordingly. It is important to give at least 4 to 5 mock exams before you actually appear for the exam. In my case, it is only after I gave my first mock exam, I came to know that I didn't even understand 50% of the questions. However, I got 65% on that first mock exam. It is only when I reviewed the feedback, I understood there are a lot of gaps which I'll have to work on. After my first mock exam, based on the feedback, I have identified 4 weak areas or gaps. The first one, I was attending the question based on my actual PM experience. The second one, I have not read the PMBOK guide. I was so confident that I have completed all my video materials and I have not even touched the PMBOK guide before attending the first mock exam. The third one, I was very weak at ITOs, input tools and techniques and output. The fourth one, which was a silly one, I read the questions very fast. Whenever there is a question with not or except, I always chose the wrong option. So those are my 4 weak areas which I've identified after my first mock exam. Another reason that I'm emphasizing on the mock exam is because of the 200 question exam and a 4-hour duration. Personally for me, it's been a very long time since I gave an exam like this. So I gave 8 mock exams before actually appearing for the exam. It might differ for you. Also make sure to give all your mock exam on the same session in which you actually booked the exam. In my case, I have chosen to give the exam during the morning session. That's when my brain works better. So I gave all my 8 mock exam during the morning session to get mentally prepared for the stressful 4-hour exam. One mistake I did after my first mock exam is to purchase 3 paid mock softwares. In fact, I was not able to even touch the third mock software before my actual exam. So don't invest any money on purchasing the mock software. There are a lot of free mock softwares which is available online. Most of the paid mock softwares will offer at least one mock for free to test their program. So try to give your initial mock exam using those free mock exam. Then, if you need, purchase one paid mock software. From the exam point of view, it is important to read PMBOK guide at least once. I'd also recommend focusing on the following area. First, page 61 of the PMBOK guide. You will have to understand 5 different process group, 10 different knowledge areas, and all the 47 process. It is also important to understand the input, tools and technique, and output for each process. Second, page 78 of the PMBOK guide. Understanding the difference between the project management plan and the project document helps you a lot during your exam. Third, PMBOK glossary. You will have to understand each and every definition as per PMBOK guide. Fourth, pay a little more attention to the stakeholder management knowledge area. This is one of the new knowledge area that has been added into the PMBOK guide 5th edition. Fifth, pay a little more attention to the change management workflow. You will have to understand the entire workflow on where you get the changes from, how it is going to be processed, and what are the steps that will happen after the change has been approved or rejected, and all that. You will have to understand the entire workflow. You can easily get 10 to 15 questions on change management. Sixth, you will have to understand the difference between various processes. For example, the difference between quality assurance and quality control, difference between validate scope and control scope. Seventh, EVM, earned value management. You'll get a lot of questions on this area. If you remember the formula, this is where you can easily score because there would be only one right answer. And you'll also get situational questions from EVM. For example, your cost variance is 1.2, your schedule variance is 0.9. What is the status of the project? You can easily score on this area, so focus more on EVM as well. A week before the actual exam date, don't take any new mock exams. Sometimes you will see the questions are very different from the previous exams that you have taken, and it will decrease your confidence level. So work on the activities which will actually help you to increase your confidence level on the last week of the exam. I had my own notes. I was referring to my notes, and I also had Ito game. So I was playing that game, every day, in fact, till the day of the exam. So if you have a flashcards which you have created for Ito, you can use that, or use your notes, or just recap the concepts which you have already studied during your preparation. Or if you have identified any weak areas, concentrate on studying those items on your last week. Day before the exam, don't study anything new. Just recap whatever you have, if you can do that in a short duration of time. And make sure that you have good sleep and drink a lot of fluids, which will actually help on the next day for your exam. On the day of your exam, be confident, relax, meditate, visualize yourself passing the exam, visualize the congratulations screen of the monitor, and remember the benefits that you're going to get for passing the exam. Make sure that you increase your confidence level before you enter the exam hall. After you enter your exam hall, you will be allocated a system. You will have 15 minutes to actually review the exam software tutorial. Previously, they used to allow to dump all that you want on a sheet of paper. I have taken my exam on December 27th, 2016, and it is not allowed anymore. So you will have to use all the 15 minutes to actually review the exam software. But you actually need 5 to 7 minutes to review the software. The remaining 7 or 8 minutes you can use to meditate and relax yourself to improve your confidence before you actually enter in the exam. So there are 5 features which I wanted to highlight on the exam software. The first feature is you will be able to highlight any key points or keywords on the question. The second feature, you will be able to strike out any incorrect options. So these 2 features will become very handy when you use the third feature, which is the mark question feature. So you will be able to mark any question that you are unsure of. So when you come back and review, if you have already highlighted the keywords and if you have already striked out the unwanted options, it's easy for you to review the question and choose one of those options on your review. The fourth option, the calculator. The calculator is inbuilt in the system itself. So you'll have an option to try out the calculator during your exam software review. The last option is the skip option. So this, I don't recommend using this option because in PMP exam, you don't really have a negative marking. So there is a good chance of getting an answer right out of those 4 options. So don't skip any questions without marking it. On my exam, I have not got many lengthy questions as I have practiced in my mock exams. My questions were very clear and straightforward. The problem is on the options. There is more than one option which is right for most of the questions. So you'll have to be very clear with the concepts to choose the right answer. Mark your questions that you're unsure of. Sometimes you remember the answer to the question or you will find an answer on the current question to the previous question. So make sure you mark your questions. Another quick tip which you can actually use in the exam. This is recommended by one of my friend. So relax for every 20 questions. So take a minute or take 10 seconds to breathe, relax and focus back onto the question after every 20 questions. So on the 21st question, make sure that you take a 10-second and breathe yourself to relax. This is a stressful exam. I have practiced it so much, so I don't have to even take any breaks during the real exam. But I have used this small technique to keep my stress level low and to focus on the question without any stress for the entire 4-hour duration. It is also important to have a network of people who actually wanted to pass the exam just like you. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn or you can post your questions on this video. I'll answer them for you. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up and share it with your friends. All the best for your PMP journey.